And we are live. Hey y'all, happy Friday. So, I thought I wasn't going to have anybody in here today. This is my first podcast on this channel, so welcome. Thank you for being here. This is something new that I want to do because I have a lot to say. So, hopefully, we will do this every Friday around lunchtime. And so, if you're at work, you can just listen in and maybe hopefully join in on the conversation. So, I have some of my people in the house already. We have Kevin, we have Scott. What's up, y'all? And hopefully y'all will join us tonight at 8:30 for our Adventures of TNT live stream. Today, I changed the title about around like 3 times because this is a conversation I've been wanting to have for a long time, and it's a hard conversation to have. Sometimes on my reaction videos, at the end when I'm giving my final thoughts, I'll say a little bit, but not too much. So today's title is about no one cares about country music, and we're going to talk about why. And feel free to leave your thoughts in the chat, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So, the reason why we're talking about no one cares about country music anymore, because in a lot of our reactions, we get a lot of requests for older school country music. And I can understand why. The sound, the feeling that it gives you, you are either crying, laughing, or either it's giving you a feeling of nostalgia. When I first started reacting to country music, the very first song I did was George Jones' He Stopped Loving Her Today. And I have never cried during a song before. So you can imagine the emotions that I was going through at the time. And I really fell in love with country music. And I thought that what was going to happen, I was going to take like this journey of country music from the old school to the new school, but we've been stuck in like a time, uh, one specific time when it comes to country music. We do have a few people on the channel and on the Patreon who request new school music, and we've even had an old school versus new school live stream. And those have been so fun. And there are a few artists like Brad Paisley who's not really like new school, but he does the genre really well, and so he has this massive audience. His songs are good, his videos are good, very relatable, and he seems like the type of guy that you can just have a beer with. And he seems to also try to pull other artists up as well. So I'm low. Y'all can't hear me. Let's see. Hold on. See if I can turn this up. Is that better? Let me know. Hello. So, like I said, we've been in a one specific time, but I do love 90s country music. There's like this sweet spot when it comes to 90s country music, and I think that was really the best time. But then something started happening. And I know media is changing, the way people get their music is changing. People are consuming media at a rapid pace. And I think that the the country music fan is very careful with how they consume media because they've been around. They know people are collecting information. They, although people think they don't know how the new media works, they have an idea. And so there are artists who are not really getting the attention they deserve because the way media is today. And from what I've been told from the people who love country music on this channel, is the sound of country music is different. It is more pop, it is more hip hop. It does not sound like country music. And I'm going to give my opinion of why I think that is. Times change, and the audience can change as well. I think country music is attempting to get a different, larger, more diverse audience, and they need more eyes and they need more ears. More, and what that equals to is views, and views equals money. Okay? And I know a lot of people don't like to talk about it, but the country music artists, in order for them to be successful, they need people to come to their concerts. They need people to download their music. They need eyes, they need ears, they need that support. And because the sound has completely changed, in order to get a newer audience, the original artist, not the artist, but well, even the artist, yeah, the original fan base is being not shunned, but they aren't getting what they ask for. And so I feel like there's this tug of war, and there's really no happy medium. And this morning, I was looking for new country artists. Can y'all still hear me? So I was looking for new country music artists because there's only like maybe 2 or 3 people on the channel who request newer artists. And so while doing this research, I went on countrymusictv.com and seen that there are so many new artists that I've never heard before, and I don't think anybody has heard of them before, because when I go to their social media or their YouTube channel or their Vivo channel, they have less views than me. And it is very, very crazy. Okay. And in order for these artists to get their songs on the radio, to produce a music video, they gotta get eyes and ears on it, and that's not what they're getting. And a lot of country music artists, I don't think, can do like Ryan Upchurch or even Jelly Roll or even Tom MacDonald, even though he's not a country artist, can go independent. And there is this tug of war between independent artists and the record companies. And I really think something is happening with the record labels to where they're really trying to put a damper. They're really trying to stop people from going independent, because when you go independent, you can do what you want. You have your fans, they can tell you what they want, and that's that. With YouTube, and I even made a comment in the community section about how YouTube is kind of falling in line with the record companies. It's becoming a pay to play kind of thing, but also YouTube has their favorites. And I do feel as if there's this narrative that is kind of being pushed. And if you don't do exactly what they want you to do, then they're not going to promote your stuff. And I feel the same thing is happening with a lot of the country music artists out here. So, that's a huge problem. And country music is going to continue to die if you don't get new people. As much as I love Waylon Jennings, I love Hank Williams Sr. and Jr., George Jones, George Strait, I love those artists. There has to be new blood on the scene. And although there is, we have Ryan Upchurch, who some people consider not country, but he is. And people have to realize that he's younger and maybe he grew up on different genres of music and his sound reflects that. But I want to talk about artists like Florida Georgia Line. And there is this love-hate relationship with country fans and artists like Florida Georgia Line because they use a lot of 808 beats. You hear they get Nelly on some of their songs, and it sounds like hip hop and sometimes like R&B. And it's very popular. They have the views. They go on tour. They sell tickets. And so the artists like Hank Williams, who are older now, they can't tour like they used to do. They're not making new songs. And so in order to keep a genre alive, there has to be younger audience that add to the pot. And what is working, or what looks like is working, is adding the R&B and hip hop sound to country music. And we seen with Lil Nas how much of a backlash can happen when you do that. But he was streamed, and that's the thing. A lot of older people do not stream music. They don't go on Spotify. They don't go on Apple Music. They don't use TikTok because that's another thing. And the older audience, because of that, they aren't getting what they ask for. And so the record companies are doing what they think works. And that is what's happening with all content creators. That's what's happening with content creators on YouTube, on Instagram. Everyone is trying to accommodate this younger audience because they, whether people like it or not, are the movers and shakers. And so when I see, let's see if I can go on CMT. I went on CMT and I see Maddie and Tay, and they changed up the tour. They're new country artists, and I've done a few reactions to them. But then you have people like Vince Gill that people like me still never heard of. We have Blake Shelton, who does country music very well. He's very good at staying relevant. A lot of people can take note from Blake Shelton as well. But when I try to, let's see, I go to music and I go to Hot 20 Countdown. I don't even know what this is. Basically, when I go on here, there's a lot of people I don't know. And I'm trying really hard to navigate. Let's see, music. Let's go on music. So this is where I was. Never heard of Mackenzie Clayton Anderson. I know Miranda Lambert. And I scrolled down to try to find more artists. And I looked up some country artists. Let's see. This is not the same page I was under. But if I pull up Mackenzie Porter. Mackenzie Porter. Okay. I've never heard of her before. I'm gonna have to do some reactions to her. But she has 56,000 followers. Now, some of her music is doing pretty well. She has 6 months ago, she has a video on Vivo called Pickup and Seeing Other People, 5 million views. These are pretty good. There are some other artists that I looked up where they have like 2,000 views on a new video. Let's see if I can pull it up. Okay, these aren't the artists that was coming up earlier. Let's see. New country artists. Ingrid. I don't know why. Okay. So we have an artist like Sasha. I looked her up. And she has like 3,000 views. What's her name? Sasha. So she has a new song called Pretty Please. She has 51,000 views. There was another artist that I was looking up that I can't find. Let's go on news. For some reason I can't find the people that I was looking for earlier. But they're not getting the views, they're not getting airtime. So what's gonna happen, and I've seen it happening already, excuse me. R&B artists like K. Michelle, who many of you probably don't know, are attempting to do country music. And she is a trained artist, a classical trained artist, but she sings R&B. And so she is going to be doing country music. We have Beyonce, who I've heard is going to be doing country music. She's doing house music right now. And the sound is just different. The sound is hip hop. And because people want to make a living off of doing something they love. So this is why country music is dying. I see a lot of people in our live streams when we go live, and we'll talk about TikTok or what we found on TikTok, and a lot of people say, I don't have TikTok, I don't do Instagram, and that's understandable because they're collecting data, so it's understandable. But that's where new things are being created. And when the artists who are new might try to do traditional country music, they're not as successful. So let's see. If somebody can give me a new country music artist, let's see, because even when I go in here, I don't want to play the song because they're gonna shut me down. Let's see. I heard of Scott McQuarrie. Who is Lainey Wilson? Okay. I know Jimmy Allen, Cole Swindle, Tim McGraw. Okay, these aren't really new people. Larry Fleet. But compared to like hip hop songs, let's see if we can go on the explore page. So you have Justin Bieber, you have Meek Mill, who's rap, Romeo Santos, that is Latin music, what's popular is not country. The views, the eyes is going on hip hop. We do have Kane Brown right here, who, you know, is new country, so that's good. But mostly it's hip hop and rap. Oh, we got Morgan Wallen, and I'm not sure if these are going to be up next week, but for the most part, you have hip hop that is ruling the charts. And so because they are ruling the charts, they influence country. And whenever we do like new country and it might be hip hop or something like that, the people get upset. Okay, Connie says, I love Kaylee Bainin. Okay, let's look her up. Okay, Kaylee. I mean, but the numbers say otherwise. Ha bat. Let's see. Kaylee. Connie, I pronounce everything wrong. To be honest. Kaylee. Bainin? Okay, I've never seen her before. So the first song that comes up is from 8 years ago, and Kaylee has only 15,000 subscribers. That is a very small fan base. So Haley, how can she make a living, you know, and pay maybe the record company back from videos or time in the studio? Her last Vivo video was 8 years ago. That says a lot. This number right here says a lot. 15,000 subscribers. On our other channel, Adventures of TNT, we have more than her. And it really shouldn't be like that. If she has 8 million, you have 8 million people who consume some of her videos. 2 million people that have consumed this video, and none of them really subscribed to her channel. This is how you do things in the new age. And so the fans of country music aren't really keeping up. And so I think that is why the sound is changing. And so it seems from the numbers, from the algorithm, because you have to look at the numbers, that no one cares. And like I was saying, I had made a post in our community section, basically YouTube telling us our content sucks because of the numbers. And let's see if I can go to the numbers. The numbers make a difference. Let's see. So let's see if I can go YouTube Studio, because all of this is based on data. And you know, I know no one cares. No one cares. People like what they like, and that's it. And unless you do that, then it doesn't even matter. Let's see. So you go to analytics, and this is the same thing that record companies do. Numbers. So I have 1.2 thousand less views than usual. And the subscriber count is down. Watch time hours is down. But if I do something like rap or hip hop or something of that nature, the views will go up. And that's what's happening with country music. It looks like no one cares. So it's like, how do you remedy something like that? How do you get people who love original country music to still do country music without changing the sound and really making it a pop song or an R&B song? And Scott said traditional country will never die. And you say that, but the audience is shrinking. The audience is shrinking. And what's really keeping it alive is younger people discovering it. You have to continuously have new people within a fan base in order for it to grow. So the thing is, people like what they like, but people also like entertainment. What I've come to notice with being a content creator is people like to be outraged. And like I said earlier, the perfect example is the Lil Nas X situation when he came out with that song, what was it? Old Town Road. When he came out with that, people loved it and people streamed it. And then there were the traditional country music fans who hated it because they knew he was a hip hop artist, that he didn't do country music. And there was this huge backlash. And what older people don't realize is, even if there's a backlash, when there's hate, when there's outrage, it fuels the machine. And when you fuel that machine, whether people like it or not, it gets streams, it gets views, it gets eyes and ears. And that is all the industry cares about, because it always equals dollars. And so when one person hates something, that fuels another person to fight back. And there's it shouldn't be like that, but this is the new world that we're in. It's not really about country anymore. What new artists, and it's not a fair comparison. It's really not. But what new artist can compare to someone like George Jones? Or even when George Jones was around and then George Strait came along, who still had the knowledge, the sound of country that people love. Who's doing that? And who now can create that sound and keep it going? There is, to my knowledge, there isn't anyone. No one has recommended anyone of that nature. Oh no, Mr. Dirty. Yeah, as much as YouTube is pushing us to change content, um, it's just, I don't know. No. It's like a lot of people are just hopping on the bandwagon. Everybody's trying to find what works. Really, that's what it is. And we do have another channel where we talked about some content like Jordan Peterson and stuff like that, but we wouldn't put that on this channel or the Adventures of TNT, because T always makes this point, which I think is a good point. Like, we like Longhorn Steakhouse, so when you go to Longhorn, you're expecting a good steak. You're expecting, because me and Connie, we like the margaritas there, so you're expecting the margaritas. You're expecting a steakhouse. But imagine if you go to Longhorn and they give you, I don't know, soul food or Chinese food or a sandwich. And you're like, I didn't come to Longhorn for that. And so we do try to be mindful of that, despite of what YouTube and the numbers are telling us. We know you guys come here for certain content, and we want to keep it that way. And if we ever try to do different content, it would be on a different channel. But some of that stuff can get icky, and we like to, I don't know. Anyway, so that's my take on it. I don't know what to tell you guys, but I do want to, I want to find new artists, and I've been kind of scared, but I want to reach out to certain artists, maybe interview them and talk with them, and hopefully get some exposure to artists who are really doing something. The only problem is a lot of our audience isn't on Instagram and they aren't on TikTok. So you kind of, in order to have access to these artists, you need like a social media following. And We don't have that right now. And it's kind of, we do feel sometimes stuck between a rock and a hard place. And I think that is going on with a lot of content creators, whether you do YouTube, whether you sing country music, whether you're an independent artist, or you do something else that's online. Everybody's trying to find their voice, trying to find something that works. So, we're going to continue to navigate these spaces. I do want to continue this conversation. It's been such a long time. I remember when I created this channel, I think maybe 6 months ago, and I spoke with you guys about country music and why I never listened to country music. And sometimes it does feel like there are gatekeepers to country music. But when you talk to the fans, they're so open. Country music fans have been the nicest people that we've had on this channel. They've been so informative, so helpful, and it just feels like a family environment. And I want to share that experience with everyone, but trying to navigate and get that out is like not really working. And I guess that's why I wanted to do this podcast. And someone has to move the needle forward. I don't know if that can be me, because I'm trying, but yeah, But I'm going to continue. I'm not going to give up. And I hope you guys come on this journey with me. I hope you support me on this journey, because I always say it's more than a reaction channel. I've learned so much. We even took a trip to Nashville, and just to see just the roots of country music, it was really inspiring. It just felt like a kinship, and a lot of people don't know the history. They just go by, I really don't know what people are going by, to be honest. Because growing up, I was made to feel that country music wasn't for me, and I have no idea where that thought came from. And that's the wall that needs to be torn down. And I'm trying to do that with this channel. I'm struggling, y'all. I'm struggling, but sometimes it's hard to have these conversations. I know a lot of times people get in their feelings, and a lot of times I say certain things and people get upset, and then it makes me not want to do conversations like these. But I have to realize that just comes along with the territory, and it's something that's bigger than me. And I feel like if people knew really what country music was about, and the roots of gospel, the roots of blues, the roots of like the Appalachian people and how they weren't accepted. Like, we're all trying to find our place. We're all trying to belong. And you hear that in the music. And there was a quote from, I think it was Johnny Cash, and he was talking about country music and how let's see if I can find it, because I don't want to like misquote Johnny Cash. I was trying to clean out my phone, and it's just so much stuff in my phone, and I should have had it ready. But Johnny Cash was one of those people who knew that people were trying to find their place. And I think he said something about country music being or it's like blues. I'm not gonna misquote him. Let me stop. But maybe on the next podcast, if I find it, I'll talk about it, because I was like, that's profound. And if people knew how people felt, there wouldn't be such divisiveness. And we talk about it all the time, how we feel like the media is trying to divide us. And it's important to have like normal everyday people, I think, like me, kind of bucking the system and saying, no, this is not how I feel, this is not how I think. Because a lot of times it's portrayed different in the media. And I feel like a lot of times people try to silence me because they don't like what I have to say. And sometimes I let things get to me. And it's like, I will no longer be silenced. YouTube, you cannot silence me. And I just feel like I'm fighting back, y'all. So, yeah. Hopefully, because I didn't want to come on here and preach to y'all. I didn't want to come here and be on a soapbox. But I do think country music is heading to a different sound, and it's gonna sound more like hip-hop and R&B. And you will probably have Beyonce doing a country music album. But she did a country song, and I read the comments. I didn't listen to it yet, but people were like, because Beyonce is from Houston, Texas, so she, she could do country. She's a country girl. And you see the influences of country music in some of her songs. You do. And even rappers like Notorious B.I.G. listen to country music. There was like, they were interviewing his mom, and his mom, they're from Jamaica. Biggie grew up in Jamaica, Queens, and they loved country music. And Biggie was a storyteller. So, there are artists who I think who might come over from a different genre who probably will do country music well. And I think Beyonce could be one of those people, because when I was reading the comments, they were like, Beyonce is doing country music better than country music artists, So we'll see. But I'm just warning y'all, there are going to be a lot of country music artists, and it's going to sound like R&B, because country music now has a lot of pop influence, So you guys can disagree with me if you want, as a person who reacts to a lot of songs, and a lot of people think I'm completely ignorant about music. I am not, just know that. It's just, there have been cultural differences, and when you see us react to like the Beatles, or I don't know, there's an age gap, and then there's a cultural gap. And for some reason, people don't understand that. And we're attempting, a lot of reaction channels are attempting to bridge that gap. And you've seen it to where some of the reactions have gone viral, because some of the kids never heard, even people who are younger than us never heard some of the songs. And music should be for everybody. There shouldn't be, and I've talked about this, and it's been kind of discouraging, where we'll have people say, stick to your music. And I know what they mean by that. And those are the people that are attempting to gatekeep. And I want my voice and other people's voices to be louder than those voices. And because music is for everybody, and you see how music can bring people together. There should be no color lines for music, and the people that are attempting to do it, they are the ones that should be silenced, not me and people like me. So yeah, thank you for listening to my first podcast. Feel free to leave some ideas on what you want to talk about next. I really enjoy your feedback. And you guys really don't know how much you've helped me along this journey. And I really hope to get some new people on here. We're attempting to circumvent the system. So if you enjoyed this, like this video, a simple like, it shows you enjoy the content. This is how they determine what people want to see. And yeah, join me on Patreon. The membership only starts at $1. We really enjoy what we do. We love what we do. But we do need support. So if you can't join us on Patreon, subscribe to the channel. There's many ways of supporting us. And the people that we know by first name, Domar, Cynthia, Terry, Connie, Almirth, Kim, I appreciate you guys always being here for us. You guys really don't know how much we love you guys. Real Beezer is Mr. Dirty, Skates. You guys, y'all support is like unmatched. So we really appreciate you guys. And yeah, join me for my next podcast. And I hope you guys enjoy your Friday. Bye-bye.